while we're waiting for the show to finally kick off, let's do one more quick update on Mr. Olympia 2024 predictions. Some competitors have dropped from the show and others have shown updates that may not be so convincing, so let's have this conversation one more time. But before that, let me share my thoughts on some of the other divisions. In 212, it's pretty clear it will be between Keon Pearson and Sean Clarida again. Your top two from last year. Keon has a lot of momentum going into this Olympia, and Sean is one of the most consistent bodybuilders in the world. He won't place lower than second if things go as expected. Between the two, I predict Keon will win the show, which is probably what most of you already expect. However, I actually think he will be the MVP of this Olympia. I think he'll be so good that people will start comparing him to whoever wins the open division. That's my take on the 212 division. No disrespect to the other competitors, but unless something unpredictable happens, your top two are far ahead of the rest of the pack. This is also why only these two were invited from the 212 division to the press conference last night. Next, the classic physique. I'm only going to talk about the guys who have a real shot at the top three. I believe Breon is out of this equation. I see him probably taking 5th place or at most 4th if any of the others slip up. Your top 4 is just as obvious as the top 2 in 212. The same guys were called at the press conference last night, Urs, Ramon Wesley and CBum. CBum will win this show. That's been the only constant in the industry for over 5 years now. Chris Bumstead comes back every year better than the last and steals the show. Some may be bored, but nobody is beating him when he's at his best. Period. The real battle will be for second place, where Urs, Ramon and Wesley are going to give us plenty of reasons for discussion in my opinion. I honestly don't see Urs cracking the top 3 now that Wesley is in the equation. Wesley versus Ramon is already interesting on stage and off given their comments about each other. I'm not sure if the judges will call a two-man showdown with just CBum and the top contender or include both Wesley and Ramon next to CBum. They might even include Urs in a 4-man call-out, but in my final classic physique predictions, I have Chris Bumstead in 1st, Wesley Vissers in 2nd, Ramon Dino in 3rd, Urs Kalecinski in 4th, and probably Breon Ansley in 5th. Now, for the big boys, I'm focusing on the top 10 this time. These are going to be your top 10 at this year's Olympia. According to my last-minute predictions, only 4 guys have a real shot at winning: Derek, Hadi, Samson and Andrew. If anyone else wins the 2024 Mr. Olympia, it will be the biggest upset in bodybuilding history, even bigger than Ronnie in 1998 in my opinion. Obviously, Derek and Hadi are the big favorites. They've done this before. Both have won the Olympia in the past, and they're 1st and 2nd in almost everyone's predictions. Honestly, anything other than these two in the top 2 would be a surprise. Andrew and Samson have a chance unlike the others, but their odds are pretty slim. Samson, in my prediction, won't finish higher than 4th. He's arguably the most complete, but his issue is conditioning, and everyone will be watching for that. Based on what he showed at the press conference, he's not bringing it. Andrew Jacked will defeat Samson for the first time in his career, and he could upset one of the favorites, Hadi or Derek, but honestly, Andrew's case is more like he'll either finish 3rd or 1st. I can't see it going any other way. He's probably not ready for 1st just yet this year, so 3rd is my pick. Over 74% of you watching my content in the past 28 days aren't subscribed. Imagine where we'd be if just half of you hit that button. It cost you nothing. Let's hit 30k subs. Thank you and God bless. Between Hadi and Derek, I maintain my stance. Hadi should have won last year. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a robbery, it was close, but Hadi was slightly better and he had the champion's advantage, so it didn't make sense to me to give Derek the win based purely on physique. If you're talking about ambassadorship and all that other stuff, then I see why Derek might be favored. Moreover, Hadi improved drastically at the Arnold, and if he comes in anywhere near that shape, Derek will lose. However, the judges might still award Derek the win, especially if he has improved from last year, but regardless of the judges' decision, I have a feeling that Hadi will be the better bodybuilder on that stage, so I'm predicting he'll win back his title. The battle for 5th and 6th will also be fun. It will likely be between Brandon, Rafael, Martin and Hunter. Any of them could finish as high as 4th or as low as 8th, so it will be very interesting to see. My prediction is that Rafael will take 5th. His physique updates made me a believer. Martin will complete the top 6, pushing Brandon Curry out. Brandon will still beat one of the favorites, Hunter Labrada, for the 7th spot, so Brandon 7th, Hunter 8th. Rounding out the top 10, I have William Bonac versus Akim Williams. Based on their usual consistency, I'd say William will beat Akim for 9th place, as Akim probably won't be at his best conditioning wise, but if Akim brings his Arnold Classic Finals conditioning, he will beat William and he could arguably threaten the other guys in the second call out. A 100% Akim could climb as high as 5th, but in my final prediction I have him in 10th. He's just not consistent enough. That's it guys, let me know your thoughts on my last minute updated predictions. Make sure to like this video for the algorithm and subscribe, as I'll be covering this Mr. Olympia with all your traditional Supersetman comparisons plus some new stuff. Thank you and see you soon.